Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit in, like your thoughts, your dreams, your feelings are somehow wired differently from the people around you? Maybe you've questioned yourself, wondered why you see the world through a lens nobody else seems to understand. But what if that feeling isn't a flaw? What if it's your greatest strength? Because there's one zodiac sign that doesn't just accept this difference. They embrace it, they live it, and they use it to shape the future. I'm talking about Aquarius. The rebels, the visionaries, the quiet healers of the zodiac. Today, we're not here for a simple list of facts. We're going deeper, into the mind, into the heart, into the soul of Aquarius. Why do they challenge everything? Why do they seem cold but care more than anyone else? Why do they always look toward the future, while the rest of us stay trapped in the present? In this video, we'll unlock the 18 hidden truths that explain why Aquarius thinks, feels, and loves the way they do. And trust me, some of them might surprise you. So, if you're ready to understand Aquarius on a level you've never heard before, stay with me until the end. And if you enjoy deep conversations about astrology, psychology, and personal growth, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let's begin. Have you ever noticed how some people change themselves again and again throughout life? Not because they're lost, but because they're growing. Aquarius people are like that. They carry a deep need inside. A need to redefine who they are, over and over again. Each change isn't just a phase. It's a step forward, a step closer to becoming who they're meant to be. And if you're an Aquarius, or you love one, you've seen this. They're never just one version of themselves for long. New ideas, new dreams, new perspectives. Each transformation shapes them, like an artist working on a canvas that never truly feels finished. But maybe that's the point. They're not searching for perfection. They're chasing evolution. Why do they rebel? Why do they question everything? It's not about fighting authority just to make noise. It's something much deeper. Aquarius challenges rules because, deep down, they believe freedom isn't a luxury. It's a basic human right. They don't just want freedom for themselves. They want it for everyone they love, for the people they've never met, for the generations yet to come. That's why you'll often find Aquarians drawn to causes, to movements, to ideas that push humanity forward. And when they fight, it's not with fists, it's with words, with ideas, with the quiet determination of someone who refuses to be controlled. Think about the Aquarius people in your life. They may not say it aloud, but everything they do is driven by a silent mantra: I won't let anyone cage my mind. Now, maybe you've felt this before. You meet an Aquarius, you try to get close, but there's something distant about them, something cool, like they're holding a part of themselves back, and you wonder, do they care at all? But here's the truth most people miss. That distance isn't coldness. It's protection. Aquarius people feel life intensely. Their minds are full of ideas, visions, dreams that most people can't even imagine, and emotions, they have them. In fact, they feel deeply. But their emotions are like a river beneath ice, quiet, controlled, hidden until they choose to share. Why? Because that distance is how they protect their inner world. It's their way of staying clear, objective. If they let every emotion flood in, it would cloud their vision. And for Aquarius, clarity is everything. So if you love an Aquarius, be patient. When they seem far away, it doesn't mean they've stopped caring. It means they're guarding the part of them they trust the least people to understand. Here's another truth. Their independence isn't just about freedom. It's about survival. Aquarius people need to think for themselves. It's like breathing to them. Imagine living your whole life, hearing everyone else's opinions, and feeling trapped by them. That's how it feels for Aquarius. So, they create their own narrative, their own truth. Their mind is their sanctuary, their safe space. They process the world in their own way, and they don't want that process polluted by outside voices. Does that make them stubborn? Sometimes. But more often, it makes them clear, focused, trusting their inner compass when the world tries to pull them off course. If you've ever watched an Aquarius make a life choice that seemed crazy to everyone else, but felt perfectly right to them, now you know why. And here's the thing, this independence isn't coldness. It's courage. The courage to walk alone when the path feels right. The courage to trust their own mind when everyone else tells them they're wrong. The courage to listen to their own voice, even when it's shaking. Because for Aquarius, personal freedom isn't just a desire, it's a lifeline. Maybe you're listening right now and realizing that's you. Maybe you've always felt like your way of thinking doesn't fit the world around you. Maybe you've doubted yourself because of it. But what if your difference is actually your strength? What if the way your mind works isn't broken, but brilliant? That's the message Aquarius brings to all of us. So, if you're someone who questions, who dreams, who sometimes feels distant even when you care deeply, know that you're not alone. And if you love someone who carries that quiet distance and rebellious spark, give them space. But also, give them love. Because beneath their cool exterior, behind their independent mind, is a heart that feels more than words can ever say. Keep listening, because understanding Aquarius is like understanding the future, and the journey is only beginning. Have you ever wondered why some people, even when they love you, still need to stand alone? Aquarius understands love differently. For them, real connection isn't about merging into one person. It's about two souls walking side by side, each free, yet choosing each other every day. That's why Aquarius relationships feel unique. They protect their personal space, not to create distance from you, but to preserve their own growth. In their heart, they believe love should never be a cage. It should be a partnership of equals, where both people can breathe, dream, and evolve without fear of losing themselves. It might feel strange at first. You might ask, why do they need so much space? But in that space, they're not pulling away. They're making room for both of you to grow. And then there's something deeper, something many people never notice. Aquarians are loyal in a way that feels almost sacred, but they won't hand you their loyalty easily. They wait, they watch, they test, not to play games, but to protect their soul. Because when an Aquarius trusts you, it's not just trust, it's surrender. They let you into the inner world they hide from most people. And once you're inside, they're there for you. In ways words can't explain. They'll protect you silently, support you without question, fight for you without ever needing to be asked. This kind of loyalty isn't loud. It doesn't shout from the rooftops, but it's unbreakable. And in a world where promises are easily broken, an Aquarian's loyalty is a rare and precious gift. Still, people misunderstand them. You might think they're cold, you might think they're distant, but let me tell you the truth. Aquarians are protectors. Just not in the way you expect. They won't always tell you how much they care. They'll show it, quietly, practically. They'll check if you got home safe without making a big deal of it. They'll remember the little things you said, long after you forgot. And when life falls apart, when the world feels too heavy, that's when they'll show up. Calm, steady, ready to fix what's broken. They don't need credit, they just need to know you're okay. And behind all that, there's something even more powerful. Something most people never see. Aquarians carry a mind that doesn't stop moving, a mind that needs constant stimulation. They crave new ideas the way others crave comfort. Conversations about ordinary things bore them, small talk drains them, but give them a question that challenges their beliefs. Give them a perspective that turns their world upside down. They'll come alive. That's when you'll see their eyes light up. That's when you'll feel the energy shift. Because Aquarius doesn't just want knowledge, they need it. It's how they grow. It's how they stay connected to the world around them. Every book they read, every debate they engage in, every philosophy they explore. It's all part of a bigger search. The search for understanding who they are, why people behave the way they do, and what life is really about. But this hunger for ideas isn't just curiosity, it's a form of survival, a way to constantly reinvent their thoughts, to break free from outdated patterns. That's why they're not afraid to change their mind, why they're not scared of being wrong. In their heart, they believe that every new idea is a door that could lead them to a deeper version of themselves. So, if you love an Aquarius, challenge them. Don't fear disagreements. Every time you challenge their thinking, you're giving them a gift, a chance to grow. And in conversations with them, you'll feel it. They don't listen just to reply. They listen to understand, to see life through your eyes, to find a new piece of the puzzle they're building in their mind. That's why a conversation with an Aquarius never really ends. Even after you stop talking, they're still thinking, still processing, still learning from you. Now, maybe you're starting to realize something. Aquarius people aren't distant. They're deep. They aren't cold. They're cautious with their heart. They aren't rebels just to be difficult. They're seekers of truth, of freedom, of authenticity. And if you can understand that, you'll see them not as outsiders, but as visionaries. But the story doesn't end here, because the next part of this journey will take us even deeper into the most misunderstood parts of the Aquarius soul. 3 truths that might change the way you see them forever, or might make you question everything. Keep listening, because what comes next reveals the most profound and perhaps controversial secrets of the Aquarius heart. Have you ever met someone who seems to live half in the future? Someone who talks about ideas that haven't even become real yet, but to them, it's like they're already there. That's Aquarius. They don't just think about tomorrow, they imagine it, they design it, they plan for it in ways most people can't understand. While others focus on what's happening right now, Aquarius minds are chasing possibilities the world hasn't even seen. You might hear them talking about new technologies, social changes, ways to heal the planet, ways to free the human mind. And you might think, that's impossible. But to them, it's just a matter of time. Because Aquarius believes that change isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. This visionary thinking shows up everywhere. In the way they work, in the way they handle relationships, even in the way they look at their own life. They're not just asking, what do I want today? They're asking, what kind of life do I want to create for myself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? It's a constant process, planning, dreaming, and turning those dreams into something real. Sometimes people see Aquarius as unrealistic, but here's the truth. They're not dreamers lost in fantasy. They're architects of a future no one else has dared to imagine yet. But where does this vision come from? It starts in their mind, a mind that doesn't work like everyone else's. Aquarius thinks in layers, in patterns, in connections most people never notice. They can take an abstract idea, something vague and confusing, and make sense of it. They see the big picture when others get lost in the details. Maybe you've noticed this in your life. You're facing a problem, feeling stuck, and then an Aquarius friend says something simple, yet completely shifts your perspective. That's their gift. Seeing what others miss, thinking in ways others don't. But here's the deeper reason why. Aquarius minds are wired for strategy. They're not interested in surface-level answers. They dive deep, exploring abstract thoughts and philosophical questions not to escape reality, but to understand it better. They're always asking why. Why are things the way they are? Why do people behave the way they do? Why can't the world be different? And from those questions, they build solutions. Not just theories, but real plans, steps forward. It's why they're so good at problem solving. While others get stuck inside the box, Aquarius simply refuses to see the box at all. This ability to think abstractly is also why Aquarius people can seem distant from daily life. While everyone else worries about small setbacks, Aquarius is thinking about the whole system. the long-term impact, the bigger mission. And sometimes, that means they're misunderstood. People assume they don't care about immediate problems, but in reality, they care deeply. They're just looking further ahead. They're already planning for solutions most people won't need until years later. Of course, this kind of thinking comes with a challenge. The challenge of being seen as different, as strange, as too unconventional. And that's where Aquarius shows their quiet bravery. They're not afraid to question what's normal, to challenge what everyone else accepts as truth. From a young age, they start asking questions most people avoid. Why are we doing things this way? Who said this rule makes sense? Why do people believe that without proof? These aren't rebellious questions. They're necessary ones. Aquarius doesn't challenge authority to create chaos. They challenge it because deep inside, they believe there's always a better way. But questioning the world isn't easy. It means standing alone sometimes, saying no when everyone else says yes, taking a different path when others laugh or criticize. Aquarius knows this. They feel it, but they keep going anyway, because to them, the risk of following the crowd is far greater than the risk of walking alone. If you've ever felt the pressure to fit in, to follow rules you don't believe in, remember this. Aquarius shows us that not fitting in isn't failure. It's freedom. The freedom to think, to choose, to create, to become. And yet, behind all this independence, all this visionary thinking, lies something simple, something quiet, something most people miss: loyalty. Deep, unwavering loyalty. It's strange, right? You wouldn't expect it from someone so detached, so rebellious. But Aquarius loyalty is different. It's not given easily, but once you've earned it, it lasts. They won't tell you every day how much they care, but they'll show you in the way they stand beside you when you're at your weakest, in the way they defend you when you're not even in the room, in the way they refuse to give up on you, even when you've given up on yourself. This loyalty comes from a place deeper than affection. It comes from respect, from trust, from the decision that you are someone they choose to believe in. And for Aquarius, that choice is sacred. Maybe now, you're starting to see a clearer picture. Aquarius isn't just the outsider. They're the quiet protector, the future builder, the independent soul who dreams of freedom, not just for themselves, but for everyone they love. And yet, the most mysterious, the most misunderstood, and the most controversial truths about Aquarius are still waiting. Because in the final part of this journey, we'll explore 3 sides of Aquarius that reveal their deepest emotions, their hidden struggles, and the surprising reason why their heart is often their greatest battlefield. Stay with me. You're about to see Aquarius like never before. Have you ever looked at someone and wondered, how do they stay so calm, even when the world around them feels like it's falling apart? That's one of the hidden strengths of Aquarius. Their calm isn't an act. It's who they are. They carry a stillness inside that's hard to explain. But if you're close to one, you've felt it. In the middle of chaos, when everyone else panics, they hold steady. It's not because they don't care. It's because they've learned that clarity comes from silence. While others react, Aquarius observes. While others rush to fix, Aquarius waits. And when they finally speak, their words often bring the clarity everyone was missing. It's this calm energy that makes people trust them, lean on them, sometimes without even realizing it. But behind this peaceful surface, their mind never stops moving. Aquarius people carry storms inside, but they've learned to hold those storms quietly, not to hide them, but to protect their energy. They know that getting lost in emotion won't help, so they step back, they analyze, they think before they act. And in that pause, they create safety for themselves and for everyone around them. If you've ever been in a crisis and an Aquarius friend just handled it without drama, without fear, you know what I'm talking about. Their calm doesn't mean they feel less. It means they choose to lead with wisdom, not emotion. And yet, that calm heart hides something even deeper. A sense of duty, a quiet responsibility they carry toward others. You see, Aquarius isn't just the thinker or the dreamer, they're also the helper, the one who steps forward when no one else does. Not because they want recognition, not because they're trying to prove anything, but simply because they believe, if they can help, they should. This is something most people miss about Aquarius. They're driven by justice, by fairness, by the belief that everyone deserves a chance, that no one should be left behind. That's why they're drawn to causes, to volunteering, to supporting friends in ways that feel invisible from the outside. They'll give their time, their skills, even their resources, quietly, without expecting thanks. You won't see them posting about their good deeds online. You'll just notice that somehow things got better, problems got solved, someone was saved from falling, and you'll realize it was them, working in the background all along. But here's what makes it even more special. They don't just help when it's easy, they help when no one else will. When everyone else walks away, thinking, it's not my problem, that's when Aquarius steps forward. Because to them, helping isn't optional. It's part of who they are. Still, what fuels this drive? Curiosity. A curiosity bigger than just facts and information. Aquarius has a hunger to understand life itself. They're fascinated by people, by ideas, by what makes the world move. This curiosity isn't just about books or theories. It's about connection, about exploring different ways of thinking, different ways of living. They want to learn not just to know, but to grow. Every conversation is a chance to see the world from a new angle. Every new idea is a door to deeper understanding. This is why Aquarius often seems interested in the most random topics. One day, they're reading about ancient history. The next, they're discussing artificial intelligence, not because they're scattered, but because they know. Every piece of knowledge, every perspective, builds their bigger picture, their life philosophy. And they're not afraid to change their mind. That's what makes their curiosity so powerful. They're constantly evolving, constantly expanding their inner world. For Aquarius, staying the same isn't safety, it's stagnation. They grow by questioning, by learning, by challenging even their own beliefs. And that's something we can all learn from them. If you're someone who feels stuck in your thinking, remember this: growth isn't about being right, it's about being curious. Be willing to learn, be willing to change. Let your mind wander, follow your questions, because like Aquarius shows us, that's where true freedom begins. But this curiosity has another side, a restless side. Aquarius doesn't like feeling trapped in routines, in expectations, in limits set by other people. That's why you'll often see them seeking new adventures, not always in big, dramatic ways. Sometimes it's a new hobby, a spontaneous trip, a shift in career. It's not about running from life, it's about running towards something new, something that sparks growth. They crave change, not for chaos, but for expansion. If you're close to an Aquarius, you've seen this. They need space to breathe, to explore, to dream. And if you try to confine them, if you try to hold them back, they'll pull away. Not out of anger, but because their soul needs movement. They find peace in the unknown, joy in discovery, growth in the adventure itself. This is why Aquarius people thrive when they're free to choose their own path. When life feels too predictable, too controlled, their spirit dims. But when they're allowed to wander, to experiment, to explore what life has to offer, they shine. They become their best selves. Maybe this sounds familiar. Maybe you've felt that restlessness too. Maybe you've stayed in a situation too long, afraid to break routine. But what if you took a page from Aquarius? What if you allowed yourself the freedom to explore, to try, to grow, not because you're running from your life, but because you're choosing to expand it? Because in the end, Aquarius reminds us of something simple. Life isn't meant to be a straight path. It's meant to be an adventure. And yet, even with all this freedom, all this curiosity, all this calm strength, Aquarius still holds secrets, because in the final moments of this journey, we'll uncover the last 3 truths. The ones most people never see, the ones that reveal their deepest needs, their hidden desires, and the silent battles they fight in their heart every single day. Stay with me. The most personal, and perhaps the most controversial, part of the Aquarius soul is about to be revealed. And now, we reach one of the quietest, yet most powerful truths about Aquarius. Something most people never even realize: their friendships. You see, Aquarius might not be the person who constantly calls or sends long emotional messages. They might not express their affection the way other signs do. But if they call you their friend, you can be sure of one thing: they'll always be there. When life gets hard, when everyone else disappears, when you don't even know how to ask for help, they'll show up, not with grand gestures, but with quiet presence, with steady support, with solutions, not speeches. It's in their nature. Once they care about you, they carry you with them, even if you don't see it, even if they don't say it. They watch over you in their own way. Maybe it's checking in after weeks of silence. Maybe it's listening when no one else will. Or giving you advice that feels strangely clear just when you're about to give up. This is how Aquarius loves. Through presence, through loyalty, through being the friend who shows up when it matters most. But there's something even more subtle, something hidden even deeper in their heart. Their protective instinct. Aquarians are protectors, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the ones who stand between you and the storm without you ever realizing it. They won't always tell you what they're doing, but they're watching, calculating, making sure you're okay. They protect their loved ones quietly, through actions, through sacrifices they never mention, through standing guard when no one else notices the danger. This protectiveness doesn't come from duty, it comes from love and from trust. Once you've earned a place in their world, they'll fight for you in ways you might never fully understand. They'll handle problems so you don't have to. They'll carry burdens just to make your path a little lighter. That's how they love. Quietly, steadily, with a strength that never asks for thanks. And maybe that's the final mystery of Aquarius. While the world sees the rebel, the visionary, the outsider, those who know them best know the truth. Aquarius loves harder than they'll ever admit, and they protect more deeply than they'll ever let you see. So what does all of this tell us? Aquarius isn't here to fit into the world. They're here to help change it. Through their ideas, through their actions, through the quiet ways they support the people they love. Maybe you're an Aquarius listening to this, realizing why you've always felt different. Or maybe you love an Aquarius, and today, you've seen them a little more clearly, a little more deeply. Whichever you are, I hope you understand now that difference isn't weakness. It's power. The power to think in new ways, to love with loyalty, to protect without needing applause, to lead quietly, to be yourself. So, if you see yourself in these words, if this felt like a reflection of your soul, don't forget to subscribe. Not because you should, but because you've found a place where being different isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. And if there's someone you care about, someone who needs to understand the heart of Aquarius, share this video with them. Let them see the parts of you that words sometimes can't explain. There's still so much more to explore about the mind, the heart, and the journey of Aquarius. And in the next videos, we'll keep walking that path together. Until then, keep growing, keep questioning, and most of all, keep being you.